Armstrong raised a trembling hand and, with a final effort, caused a dimensional rift to open in the space before them. "There's your way back." "Are you ready?" "Yes. Let's go home." After saying that, Goku insisted on taking Armstrong with them too, so that Cecil could look after him afterward. "I hope you've learned your lesson. If you ever hurt anyone again, I'll do whatever it takes to stop you." Armstrong narrowed his eyes in a mix of pain and disdain. "I'll remember." With that exchange, Goku and Mark entered the portal together. Light enveloped them, and the rift closed shortly after they crossed. But they had returned to the world of Invincible. They found themselves right at Mark's house, where the entire conflict had unfolded. Mark felt a lump in his throat when he saw his mother, Debbie, and his little brother, Oliver, in her arms. Debbie's expression shifted from confusion to joy in an instant. "Mark, you're back!" Oliver let out a happy babble and reached his little hands toward his brother. Unable to contain himself, Mark threw himself into their embrace, feeling a moment of calm he hadn't felt since all this began. "That's right. We made it. I'm okay, Mom." "I knew you'd be fine, honey. Seeing you safe is all I ever wanted." Mark gave a genuine smile for the first time in a long while. The weight lifted from his heart. Nearby, Goku watched the family scene in silence while holding Armstrong, who was still unconscious. He didn't want to interrupt, so he simply stood back. "This is what's truly worth protecting." After a few seconds, Debbie noticed Goku and the figure he carried. "I see you're all right too. Thank you for helping my son fight that man." "Don't worry, Armstrong is completely defeated now. I'll bring him to Cecil so they can make sure he never causes harm again." "Thank you. I want you to know you're welcome here anytime, Goku. It's clear you're a good friend to Mark." Goku bowed his head slightly in acknowledgement. "Take care of yourselves. I trust you'll get some rest after all this." "We will. You too, Goku." After their brief conversation, Goku flew off, carrying Armstrong towards Cecil's base. Mark let out a long sigh as he watched his home return to peace, feeling exactly where he wanted to be. For now, we're safe. That's what matters. Debbie smiled through her tears. "Yes, and for now, that is enough." While Mark and his family savored that moment of peace, Goku was already flying over Cecil's facility, landing gently in front of it. Several armored doors slid open at his presence, and a group of agents came out to meet him. "This way, Goku. Good to have you back. Cecil is waiting." Goku nodded and followed Donald through the long corridors. A few minutes later, they arrived at a spacious office where Cecil sat behind his desk, reviewing reports on a screen. Noticing Goku's arrival, he turned his attention to him. "Well, I see you've brought an unexpected guest." "That's right. This is Armstrong. He's the one who opened portals between worlds and got me into all sorts of trouble." Cecil narrowed his eyes as he assessed Armstrong's condition. "It looks like he didn't fare well in his fight. But tell me, how dangerous is he?" "Quite dangerous. He can open rifts between universes at will, which is how I ended up battling a dark version of myself in a world I'd never seen. I had to defeat him to come back." "Honestly, I'm surprised someone like him has such a power. We'll have to investigate further to gauge the extent of his abilities. For now, it's crucial to keep him alive." Goku nodded, allowing Cecil's team to take charge of Armstrong's body. "You know, that man just gave me an idea. One that might get you home." "Are you serious?" "Absolutely. When we first met, I promised I'd help you return home someday. This guy is the closest opportunity we've ever had, but he's dangerous. Someone who can open portals between realities is a weapon others will want to possess. If he falls into the wrong hands, we could face a multiversal crisis." "I trust that you'll keep him under control." "We'll secure him in a reinforced cell with inhibitors and energy fields. When he wakes, I want you there to contain him if he makes any foolish moves. Nolan is occupied with the Viltrumite, so my team will treat him to keep him alive. When we have a chance, we'll interrogate him. I need to know where he's been, which worlds he's touched, and how many like him exist." "Of course. You can count on me to keep him in check, but I also want to be a part of the interrogation. I have questions only he can answer." "That's fine. I wasn't planning to leave you out of this. You're at the heart of it." They exchanged a knowing look, aware that this whole affair was only beginning. Though Armstrong might hold the key to sending Goku home, they knew they must proceed with caution. For now, Go rest a bit, Goku. Once Angstrom shows the first sign of consciousness, we'll call you. Understood. I'll see you later. Make sure you rest properly. Goku turned and left, and Cecil's office door closed behind him. For a moment, everything was silent. After all the day's chaos, Goku finally headed to the room Cecil had arranged for him to rest, waiting for them to call. The next morning, Goku's communicator buzzed insistently in his quarters within Cecil's facility, rousing him from sleep. Cecil? Is it time? Yes. Angstrom is showing signs of waking. He's in the containment cell we prepared, and we want you here when we interrogate him. Got it. I'll be right there. Moments later, Goku rose and hurried through the hallways, meeting Donald along the way, who guided him to a secured chamber. Passing through multiple scanners and reinforced doors, Goku entered the room where Angstrom lay, noticing that Cecil was already present. Angstrom was reclining, surrounded by energy fields that restrained his movement, and covered in bandages as he recovered from the previous battle. You made it just in time, Goku. Angstrom woke up a few seconds ago. Goku nodded and approached, standing in front of Angstrom. So you came back for me. What an honor. We need to talk about a few things, like why you took me to that alternate world, and what you know about the other worlds you've seen. Angstrom lifted his head slightly and coughed before speaking. First of all, you should know it wasn't personal against you, Goku. What happened was because you got in the way the first time. You and Mark ruined my attempt at peace. But don't get me wrong, you were just an accident in my path. My real target was that kid. Why? What did you see in him that made you focus so much on him? Because in the vast majority of worlds I've visited, Mark is a threat, a traitor, a destroyer. He's evil in every one of them. But you're an external variable that changes the course of destiny. Someone who shouldn't be here. Cecil frowned at that. And what about those worlds? How evil are those marks? Angstrom closed his eyes for a few seconds as if recalling. I couldn't see much yet, but what little I saw was worse than any Viltrumite. No scruples, no heart. When I saw them, I understood that if I wanted to maintain stability between worlds, I had to deal with him. But that's just one possibility, Angstrom. Mark is good here, and he's fighting to protect his family and his planet. I hope so, for his sake, and for all of ours. Cecil exchanged a look with Goku. The prisoner's words gave them much to consider. Either way, what you did isn't justified. But now that you've told us this, you also have a responsibility. We need you to help us understand exactly what you saw and where you went. Hearing that, Armstrong let out a long sigh and nodded, finally yielding to his situation. All right, then I'll tell you everything I know. Goku and Cecil exchanged looks, knowing that the story Angstrom was about to reveal would open new horizons, new worlds to explore, and perhaps a way to send Goku back home. I have to say, I never found the world you came from, and in many worlds you didn't exist. In others, you were just like here. But there were a couple of worlds where you were evil. Your energy was so dark you ruled the entire planet for fun. Luckily for me, I never got very far there. I only had a brief glimpse before that portal closed, or before they noticed me. It's hard to imagine myself in that scenario, but I saw it for myself when I faced my variant. That's why I wanted to eliminate Mark before he became like the others. But after seeing the difference you make, I realized there are other paths I didn't consider. In that case, you'll help us research how to find the world you came from. But for now, the priority is keeping you in check and understanding the extent of your powers. I don't intend to cause any more trouble for you. I realize now I was chasing the wrong shadow. Then prove it. Help us understand how your portals work. Maybe that way we'll find a way to get me home. I can't guarantee success, but I'll try. That's what I wanted to hear. But let this be clear, Angstrom. At the slightest sign you try to betray us or escape, Goku will stop you. And I won't hesitate to take decisive action against you. A brief silence fell, broken only by the soft hum of the energy fields restraining Angstrom. For the first time since it all began, the man who traveled between worlds understood he was in the hands of those who sought not revenge, but who wouldn't hesitate if they had to act. I understand. Good. I'll prepare my team to record everything. For now, we're leaving. Try not to do anything stupid, Angstrom. Cecil turned to leave with Goku, who stole one last glance at Angstrom. I hope this serves to help you find a better purpose than just traveling between worlds causing trouble. We'll see. With that, they all left the chamber, unaware of what new problems might arise with Angstrom so close at hand. But at least they had an opportunity to find a way to get Goku back home, even if it meant dealing with the Viltrumite Empire first.